Hey, good morning, everybody. It's kind of a pretty morning out this morning. I thought we'd take the show out onto the pond. But we're here to talk about fair fighting rule number 6. And that's Chinese body language for number 6. And that rule is no physical intimidation of your partner. You know, the more time and thought that I devote to this rule, the more worked up, the more impassioned I get. Let's start by separating or isolating the word intimidation. Let's isolate that from physical for just a moment. What I'm hoping to do through this video is to shed some light on the various incarnations that intimidation can assume. And I want to be clear in our understanding that intimidation goes well beyond the physical in nature. Financial intimidation is one quick example. But basically, intimidation extends to anything where there's an abuse of an imbalance between the partners. It saddens me to think that physical intimidation of a partner even has to exist. Let me just say this. If this rule, physical intimidation, is an issue in your relationship, in my opinion, I think you should seek immediate, qualified professional counseling. There's just no justification for physical intimidation within a relationship. If one of the partners does have some physical advantage over the other, that advantage should be used to protect, not intimidate or harm a partner. Domestic disputes that are resolved via a reasoned and balanced process will have the support of each partner. And that process will serve to strengthen the relationship. In contrast, a dispute that is resolved with brute force or threats and intimidation, that will only serve to instill anger and resentment in the partner being intimidated. And that process will only serve to weaken the relationship. Now, of course, it's possible that physical intimidation can be influenced by drug usage or alcohol. And I've been around my fair share of drunks, but I still don't consider myself qualified to speak on this. So if that's an issue in your relationship, I will just repeat my earlier advice, which was to seek immediate, professional, qualified counseling. And I'll tell you straight up, you're only going to get better if you follow 2 rules. One rule being, you need to be honest, and I mean fully truthful, with yourself and with the counselor. And 2, follow the counselor's advice. The professionals might refer to this as something else, but I'm just going to refer to this form of intimidation as mental intimidation. Maybe it's just considered another form of physical intimidation, right? Because our brain is just another part of our physical self. And just like we all come in different physical shapes and sizes, we all have different mental capacities as well. I'll try and get us repositioned here, and I'm not going to try and talk over these creaking oars. try and get down to the other end of the pond where the breeze isn't so bad. Similar to displaying some physical size advantage over another person is when an individual tries to intimidate by claiming some mental superiority over them. I mean, it's nearly unbearable to have to listen to a know-it-all carry on about some topic, but it's even worse when that person tries to weaponize or intimidate with some special knowledge. Often, the intimidator will talk down to their partner or patronize them in some manner. In this situation, my recommendation to the intimidator would be this. Please, rather than ridiculing your partner in some fashion or peddling in condescending remarks, try educating yourself. By that, I mean explore various ways that you can express your specialized knowledge so that you encourage your partner to try and understand your perspective on a particular issue. If you happen to have some expertise in some particular area, well, don't just use that knowledge as a hammer on your partner, make them feel embarrassed or uneducated. Instead, take it upon yourself to experiment with different ways that you can have your partner be enticed into understanding what your point of view is. Don't alienate them by it. In all of these instances, it's not just about winning the fight. It is how you and your partner come to an understanding and resolve an issue. It is the process just as much as it is the result. Someone who bullies or intimidates their way might feel like they've won the fight. Unfortunately, they may be unaware, or even worse, unconcerned about the long-term damage that they have caused by intimidation. As I stated in my introductory YouTube video, I strive to structure my life around 4 basic tenets: communication, understanding, balance, and kindness. Now, when someone imposes intimidation on you, those tenets get distorted, and that leaves you feeling uncomfortable. And honestly, life is just basically too short to be uncomfortable. Intimidation, in whatever form it manifests itself, physical, mental, financial, etc., must be avoided in all partnership disputes. I hope I've offered something positive, and I hope you've also enjoyed the scenery. That's all for this time. Thank you very much.